coins, credits that blur real prices and enable silent inflation. Social proof and leaderboards, comparison as a service where the finish line moves with the crowd. Loot box dynamics, pay for a chance at an item. It's not gambling, just gambling shaped. Personalized nudge engines. Each push notification is the winning variant from 1,000 experiments tuned to people who look exactly like you at 7:42 a.m. Friction craftsmanship, 1 tap to buy, 9 taps to cancel, the table tilted toward the house. Each mechanic can be useful in isolation. Combined, they form a behavioral market maker. The product doesn't just serve a need, it manufactures a rhythm and quotes you a bid and asks for your attention. The spread is profit. Make it wide enough, and the game feels fun while your day quietly disappears into someone else's charts. Follow the money, and the logic clarifies. In ad-funded ecosystems and free-to-play economies, the scoreboard is ARPDAU, average revenue per daily active user, alongside retention and lifetime value. If a confetti burst increases day 7 retention by 0.6%, it ships. If a redesigned streak badge lifts the lifetime value curve by 12 cents, it becomes doctrine. The model loves whales, the small fraction of users whose time or money subsidizes the rest. Mechanisms are tuned not to exploit them, they'll say, but to serve their enthusiasm. Yet the line between fan and farm blurs when the design aims to maximize behavior rather than meaning. In ad markets, attention is sold in milliseconds. The more intensely you engage, click, scroll, hover, the more ads can be auctioned around you. The algorithm's job is brutally simple. Keep time on track climbing. Whether you feel better afterward rarely shows up on the dashboard. The harm is often diffused. A few minutes here, a few dollars there, a steady reshaping of the day into check-ins and micro rewards. One person loses an evening to a quick look. Another loses a paycheck to the special pack. These are not crimes. They are outcomes of incentives. Defenders have a point. Gamification can help. Streaks can keep you reading, badges can keep you flossing, leaderboards can make you run farther than you would alone. The catch isn't that the mechanics are evil, it's that the goal quietly shifts. When the number becomes the meaning, you are no longer using the app to serve a plan. The app is using your plan to serve its number. 3 questions expose the turn. Who moves if you stop? If an app threatens your identity, lose the 500-day streak, you've been transformed into labor for a counter. Do you set the win condition? If the goal expands every time you approach it, you're in a casino wearing a halo. What's the cash value of this point? If the answer is complicated, assume you're paying by the hour, with your hour. History explains how we ended up here. Arcades discovered that one more quarter beats one great experience. Make the first minute electrifying and sell the second. Home consoles shifted to one-time purchase, then downloadable content, then microtransactions. Each step nudging design away from completed stories toward engagement surfaces. Retail loyalty programs taught businesses to enroll millions into parallel currencies and adjust exchange rates as needed. Airlines proved you can build a financial empire on status, not cash. Casinos refined reinforcement schedules into architecture. Behavioral science wrote footnotes with clean graphs. Apps stitched the playbook together, scaled it to billions, and embedded it in pockets. It isn't only users who get gamified, creators play too. Watch time targets turn editing rooms into laboratories for cliffhangers and shortcuts. Upload cadences become streaks with their own penalties. Miss a week, the algorithm forgets your name. Thumbnails are optimized for click probability rather than clarity. Titles become slot pulls. The same variable rewards, viral today, silence tomorrow, create the same near-miss feelings and the same anxious treadmill. Burnout is not a moral failing, it is a system outcome. When everyone chases the metric stops measuring meaning. Every app swears it's here to help. Learn faster, get fitter, save money, keep in touch. Then why does it feel like the harder you play their game, the less control you have? Why do streaks start to own mornings, badges colonize goals, and red dots multiply like invasive species? The paradox is simple and unsettling. You think you're playing the app. The app is playing you with the same psychological mechanics perfected in casinos a century ago, now wrapped in pastel gradients and friendly haptics. Start with the oldest trick that still works: reward schedules. Mid-century behaviorists discovered that when rewards arrive on a variable ratio, the next lever pull might pay. You press the lever more, not less. The uncertainty is the hook. Casinos industrialized it with spinning reels, flashing lights, and the near miss. 2 cherries, then a lemon, the false sense of progress that says, you're close, keep going. They hid clocks, replaced cash with chips, compressed the time between bet and result. The goal was rhythm. No gaps to think, only the next spin. Swap neon for OLED, and you've basically built the modern notification system. Pull to refresh mimics the slot handle. A randomized feed doles out a big laugh 1 minute, a mild outrage the next, a photo of someone you love just when your guard is down. Points and tokens replace chips. Infinite scroll removes the clock. You aren't forced to continue. You are coached into believing you're almost done, or almost winning, or almost there. Almost is the most profitable word in the attention economy. Long before apps, retailers learned to mint their own money. Mid-century supermarkets handed out trading stamps, diners licked the backs, glued them into books, and redeemed them for toasters that felt free. Airlines refined the model. Miles became a shadow currency with its own exchange rate and inflation cycle, credited generously, devalued quietly. The lesson was elegant. Create a unit you control, then price it however you like. Inflate it when liabilities grow. Devalue it when customers start winning. Meanwhile, they keep playing because progress inside your currency feels like achievement. Apps imported the blueprint wholesale. Badges that aren't money but impersonate accomplishment. Levels that turn time into sunk cost, so quitting feels like losing an investment. Progress bars that weaponize incompleteness. At 98%, your brain insists on finishing. Daily streaks that convert life itself into an unpaid job. Miss a day, lose everything, even if nothing real was at stake. None of it is illegal. All of it is effective. Points function as misdirection. You're earning, but for whom? Then there's the feed, the most powerful stage ever built for variable rewards. Infinite scroll never says stop. The end of page, you're done, is replaced by you might like forever. Algorithms are blunt about their mission. Maximize engagement, not enrichment, not satisfaction, engagement. When attention is currency, outrage and novelty pay higher yields than nuance. The system learns your reflexes faster than your friends do. The hour you're vulnerable, the topic that bypasses your skepticism, the sentence structure that makes you click. It's not personal, it's math. Math calibrated by A/B tests run on millions of tiny, reversible experiments that quietly select whatever makes people stay. Gamification wraps the hook in confetti. You're informed you're in the top 10% of readers this week without a clear denominator. You're told only one more task to level up, a promise that repeats forever. A limited time challenge ends in 3 hours, 59 minutes, 58 seconds, motivating not the thing itself, but the fear of missing out. Suddenly, you're not just opening an app, you're running laps on a track laid out by someone else's quarterly goals. Strip the casing off, and the same handful of mechanics appear again and again. Variable rewards, sometimes a big payout, sometimes crumbs, always unpredictable enough to keep the loop alive. Streaks and dailies, loss aversion disguised as virtue. You show up for the counter, not the craft. Near misillusions. You're almost platinum, almost level 8, almost there. So close you can justify another hour. Endless progress bars. Work unlocks the right to do more work. Time gates and artificial scarcity. Energy systems, timed drops, restocks and seasons that move your schedule toward their funnel. Tokenized economies, gems. It measures the chase. Regulation pokes the edges, but rarely touches the core. Some jurisdictions push on loot boxes, odds disclosures, age gating. Others treat digital rewards like grown-up cereal box toys, harmless until they aren't. Many systems live in the gray. Not quite gambling, only gambling-shaped. Odds are disclosed somewhere, prices are technically clear, choices are nominally yours. The law doesn't outlaw persuasion, it outlaws fraud. The industry reads that boundary like a map and builds right up to the line. Waiting for policy to save you is a long bet. House rules work better at the door to your attention. The trick isn't to outlaw fun, but to outlaw opaque games in your life. Finite games with clear goals make you stronger. Infinite games with moving goalposts make you tired. There are practical defenses. Define the win condition on paper. Read 10 pages a day for 60 days. Practice language for 15 minutes. Lift 3 times a week. When an app threatens that plan with a will shatter. Lose the streak, miss the event, let the plan win. Convert points to cash or ignore them. If a point has no clear dollar value, it's confetti, and you don't need to attend a parade every day. Kill variable rewards by turning off highlights, suggestions, and people you may know notifications. Keep only the messages that matter. Introduce friction deliberately. Put purchases behind authentication, log out of stores, separate payment methods from impulse surfaces. Schedule the slot, 2 check-in windows a day, timer running. Outside those windows, the casino is closed. If a streak owns you, break it on purpose. Feel the loss, notice that nothing real vanished. Replace leaderboards with leagues, small circles of friends or your past self. Public leaderboards breed anxiety, private leagues breed consistency, and design single-player games for your life, missions with finish lines, celebration rituals that aren't tied to confetti bursts. When the quest ends, stop. The same principles guide designers who want to build with integrity. Tie rewards to outcomes that matter. Learning, health, savings, not just taps. Make exchange rates explicit. If you sell a coin, state plainly what it buys. If you're scared to print the rate, don't mint the coin. Put cooldowns on prompts instead of people. Celebrate completion and let them leave. Offer end states, seasons with off-ramps, caps on levels, graceful exits that feel like graduation, not abandonment. Don't bind identity to streaks, hide difficulty behind energy systems, or treat edge cases as disposable. They're people. If you must A/B test, measure well-being deltas, not only stickiness. Ethics isn't the absence of mechanics, it's the honest use of them. Underneath the glitter is a quieter truth. Gamification flips an ancient script. People used to pay to play, now they play to pay. With time, with data, sometimes with money disguised as gems. They mine themselves for the scoreboard. The app awards a digital ribbon. The company banks a tangible result. That isn't conspiracy. It's policy, learned over decades. Design the table so the house collects the spread between your intention and your behavior. Make the spread invisible by making the table fun. The more delightful the surface, the less you notice what you're exchanging beneath it. Fun isn't the enemy. Play is human, older than money, older than markets. The problem is when play is engineered to be endless. Infinite games are profitable for the house because you can never win, only continue. The scoreboard changes from meaning to momentum. Keep going because you've been going. The number grows because numbers grow. The day aligns to check-ins because the counter demands it. You didn't intend to outsource your motivation to a streak, but streaks are built to accept the job. The cure is not abstinence from technology. It's sovereignty over rules. Call things by their names. A badge is a ribbon. A gem is a price obfuscation. A streak is a timer that argues with your priorities. A leaderboard is a comparison engine that rarely measures what matters. A feed is a vending machine that mixes sugar with spinach and charges by the minute. Once the parts are on the table, the spell weakens. You can still enjoy the machine, you're just not surprised by how it earns. Remember how these systems evolved? From arcades to app stores, loyalty stamps to airline miles, casinos to infinite feeds. Each step optimized for one more moment, one more click, one more coin. The result is an economy of attention that converts human time into data, data into predictions, predictions into profit. None of this requires villains. It requires incentives and iteration. What looks like manipulation at the micro level often looks like normal business at the macro level. That is why personal rules matter more than personal willpower. Systems beat individuals. The way out is to change the game you're playing. Here's a different scoreboard. Did today's play serve a purpose you chose? Did the session end when the purpose ended? Did a number change your mood, or did a habit change your life? Did you leave energy on the table for people you love, for work that compounds, for rest that isn't scored? These are questions metrics cannot answer. That's why they matter. The tension at the heart of modern software is that the most successful attention engines feel personal and warm while they operate on aggregate math. They borrow the intimacy of games, progress, achievement, friendly nudges, and apply it to markets. They promise empowerment and sell engagement. That doesn't make them useless. It means you must negotiate terms, spend attention like money with budgets and receipts, refuse contracts with hidden clauses, demand exit ramps, celebrate finished quests instead of endless grinds. The next time a product dangles a badge, a streak, or a box full of maybe, pause long enough to ask one question. Who's playing whom? If the answer is unclear, assume you're the table, not the player. Fold the hand and walk away. If the answer is you, keep playing, but end the game when you win. Demands for screen time limits will keep echoing. Companies will keep talking about engagement. Both are measuring the same thing, people. Hours, focus, choices. In a world where every feed wants to be a casino, the radical act is to play finite games with clear goals and to stop when the quest is over. That's how life keeps the high ground over the leaderboard. That's how motivation becomes yours again. If the illusion has been working on you, that's not a personal failure. It's a sign the machine is doing its job as designed. Wipe the fog, name the parts, write your rules, and build a scoreboard that retires itself when you win. The mechanics that can turn study into a habit can also turn a day into a slot. The difference is whether you set the win condition and whether the game ends. History has the answers. I'll show you where to look.